For me, spicy, although I'm a chef, we'll talk only slightly about food. We'll more talk about life in the sense of spicy. So the way I define is an uncommon life, right? So if you look at some dictionary, yo, this is spicy. Right? So it's flavored with or fragrant with spice. It is lightly improper or risque if it's hot. It is also exciting, interesting, lively. It is full of spirit, but it is uncommon or different. Those are some of the term or definition that you can find for spicy when you Google it.
Yeah.
So, of course, I'm a chef, so I started with that. See the spice, steak right there. It's all good. So, to me, I'm going to go back to the root. These are my folks. That's my dad. That's my mom. Her name is Akpo Sahadatu from the Tim Mala tribe in central Togo, if you know the geography. My dad is Jamil Djibril Bah-Traore from the Manding tribe of Mali. But my grandfather migrated from Mali, spreading Islam all the way through Togo. That's where he settled. Had my dad, and then so on. My dad married my mom. So I use intentionally throw new word at folks because I want you to also learn them. Whether it's name, food, all that kind of thing, I want you to go and be curious about it. So by spicing up your vocabulary, right? So, and it's important for me that I start from there so you know how I got here. Because I talk about an uncommon life. That's what I want us to remember right here. What spicy mean here. Yes, food-wise, we all know it. Flavor-wise, we all know it. But spice is not spicy. It's different. Spice is different than spice. So let's just make sure we understand that food-wise.
Yeah.
So, what is spicy couple, right? Like I said, if you're going to applaud, you got to say spicy, right?
Spicy.
Exactly. Right, okay. Next slide. Ooh. Okay, we're talking about spicy. There we go. So that's my dad right here. That I should feel. Right? Oh, actually, I went too far. Okay, there we go. I think. There we go. That's my dad right. Okay. Now, come on now, spicy. That's my dad right here. So, I call him the modern dad, because if you see him dressed like this, he's the modern dad. If you go around here, the man of the people. My dad was educated, and the way that how we got educated was that when usually colon come into a country where they colonize the country, they tend to want to teach them their own civilization, their own education. What do? They either find a king's son, or a shaman, or a priest's son to educate them, because those will be the example for others. If you can get an important person's son to go to school, it will trickle down to others. So being that my grandfather was imam, which is kind of like a pastor, so he got to go to school because they wanted him to go to school.
Wow.
So very early on, he worked with those are German people in Togo. That was before World War I.
Wow.
So as you can see right there, he's visiting with them. If anybody has known, or you live in Europe, you see this more often. That's how they use it, dress like, European colonizer. This will be German. Later on, the French took Togo on. So that's my dad right there. The third slide, that's him in Moscow. Traveling early on before the 80s. Probably just in the 60s, going there to reach out to bring Islam to Togo. And then here, that's my dad was Pope John Paul II, giving him a gift. So talking about tri-faith, talking about having so many faiths, different coming together.
Yeah.
I learned that very early on with my dad. Because although he was a Muslim Orthodox man, polygamist with many wives, 4 at a time, many kids, he sent me to a Catholic school. And he took a hit for that. Spicy, exactly, right? That's spicy right there. That's very spicy, because why would you send your son to Catholic school if you're a fervent Muslim? You want me to get the best education. I learned with 9.
Yeah.
In fact, my high school principal was a sister from Iowa. She lived in Boston. We talk often. She taught me English for 4 years in high school. So that's what I'm talking about, uncommon life. So if you grow up with a father like this, you have a different mentality, different mindset when it comes to accepting other faith, accepting people, knowing the world, right? So you can go from the modern dad to the man of the people, traveling to Moscow and then meeting Pope Jean Paul II and exchanging a gift when he came in Togo in 1986.
Wow.
These again are some of my father's traveling. Went to Uzbekistan, went to Morocco. There's him being a congressman in Togo as well. And then that's him going to Iran.
Wow.
Why am I sharing this? You will see that later on it will come together. I grew up being, my mom was the last wife, the youngest one of my dad. She married very young. So I am the youngest son when it comes to my dad. So that's what I grew up knowing, this man that has a huge aura in our area. You know, what he's done to people, feeding the people during calamities, you know, giving the people, there was always more than like 40, 50 people in our compound. I grew up knowing that people would just come from, if you're from Kentucky, you're in Omaha, you go to that house. For dinner, for breakfast, for lunch. Just come. You know, it's like kitchen, like, you know, stove are just this big, you know, and then they just cook and feed everybody. That's what I grew up seeing with my dad, right? So, next slide. My mom is from the Akpo tribe. If you know, she's from the Mala tribe. In central Togo, Malas are tame. They are a royalty tribe. If you go to, I know everybody say that a lot. You hear that in Africa, they say, "I come from a royalty tribe." But you gotta know the tribe name. You gotta know what it is. Ask them. Do your homework. You find out. If you go to Togo, in central Togo, in Sokode, any Malas usually are the one that come from a chief and stuff like that, right? So that's how you got to marry my mom. So this is my great grandfather, trailblazer. Why I say trailblazer? Because just like my dad also, although he was born as there's several royal families, right? Civils. So he was one of them that wanted to go to school also. Got to go to school. And very early on, from what I was told, because I never knew him, I never met him, he wanted to cook. He wanted to be independent. If you know Africa, now it's kind of changed a little bit, but back then it was a very patriarchal society. You don't belong in the kitchen as a man. Get out of here. That's spicy that he wanted to cook. He wanted to learn how to cook. So he went on and worked with the German and the French as a chauffeur. They helped, you name it, anything.
Wow.
That's where the cooking came from on my mother's side. He's the reason why I'm a chef today.
Wow.
Because he made a point that every male son will learn how to cook.
Come on, so spicy.
Exactly, spicy, right? So that's why. And on here, right here, that's him with his sons. My grandfather is on the right side, and my great uncle is on the left side. He's the one that I call the descendant, because he's the one that took upon this and went to Ghana and learned how to become a chef. Went to school there, became a chef.
Wow.
Right? So that's my mother right there, the conformist. Why am I saying that? I took a couple slaps, more than a couple probably, when I was around my mom cooking or in the kitchen. My dad would hate it. He's Orthodox and also liberal.
Yeah.
You know, sent me to Catholic school, but he didn't stand to see me in the kitchen with my mom. Talking about an uncommon life. Spicy, right? It's different. Right?
Spicy.
So my mom was like, no, in my family, we have to teach our boys how to cook. It's no exception. And she taught me how to cook against my father's will because of my great grandfather making a difference. So all those were just strictly in me, but I didn't know it back then. I never thought I would be a chef, right? But it's because of this uncommon life that I had. It's because of all these people, the trailblazers, the sons, the descendant, and the conformist, right?
It's good.
Now, my mom, wrong name, but that's my mom right here. Sahada was her name. Right there, yes, Sahada. And right here is an African woman in her prime. And the last one, when I say Adir, It was the day before I came to America in 2003. That's my last picture of my mom. So when I'm saying this, because both of them are not alive anymore. My mom passed away in 2005, 2 years after I came here. My dad passed away when I was 13, very young. And I lived with my mom after that. But before he passed away, he had me taken out of school. That's my dad. And I spent the last 3 weeks with him in the hospital, just talking, just having a conversation. I didn't know why he had me taken out of school, but we were just there talking.
Wow.
I saw everything up to the point that he was passing. I saw my mom, I recall her saying, why is his leg getting cold? As he was just, life was getting out of him. To the point that when he passed away, it didn't faze me at all. I just got numb and I understood that was okay. That didn't hurt me much. I was 13, but that allowed me to have a laugh with my mom where I became her friend, her boyfriend, her husband, her brother, her son. We share everything. Everything, anything. You don't come to say you're going to marry my mom if you don't go through me. Mind you, she married him young, very, very young. Because of family pressure, because he had money and everything. So obviously, he didn't even love to her when he passed away. So it was going to school with a chauffeur in the Mercedes-Benz to now you gotta walk to go to school. Once my dad passed away, the world shifted.
Wow.
Because my mom now found herself with almost nothing.
Wow.
And she had to go back to her dad's house. Talking about uncommon life, talking about spicy right there. The painful spicy right there in that moment.
Yeah.
You live with this rich man, everybody giving you all the respect and everything. He passes away, the oldest son and daughters keep everything. And you find yourself with 3 kids, not having anything at all.
Wow.
And I learned through that. That forged me to know that you can have everything in the world, you can just be gone today.
Yeah. Wow.
Right? Okay. So you can say spicy too, that's okay.
Spicy.
You can say spicy right there, because we all go through that. We all lose something sometime. A job, whatever we have that we're holding on to, it's a phase in life. You just have to understand, accept that. Right? You're going to go through it and you'll see what happens next. Now, I said, let's immigrate to America. That's in 2003. I said, Mom, we got to find a solution right here. Don't get it wrong. A lot of us came here to go to school. But don't get it wrong. It is an immigration. Because only a few parents in Africa can afford to pay for school.
Yeah.
It's very expensive. If they pay for school, probably it's like a semester, 2 semesters. That's about it. But I came here in 2003 to go to school. A friend of mine said, come to Omaha, Nebraska. You spend half or 1/4 of what you spend in New York. And I came to Omaha, Nebraska. Went to Bellevue. 2 years after, my mom passed away. That's why I say grief right there. Right? And then I became a young parent. My girlfriend then came here 3 months after me. Talking about crazy, talking about spicy life. Here I am, a young guy coming to go to school. My girlfriend get here, she's pregnant, because I was like, I'm not gonna leave you behind, knowing that if I come here, I don't know what's next.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're gonna have this kid right here. We're gonna be together.
Yeah.
That got me in Howard with my friend, with whom I went to school since 7th grade. Who used to come to our house, pretty much say, okay, anything you want, that's it. I came here, and mind you, I had a brother and sister in this town, but I chose to stay with them instead of staying with my brother and sister, because I value friendship. That's who I am. Because blood is just there because sometimes we feel like we don't have a choice, but because you're my blood. But true friendship is bigger and spicier than blood. But that got me in hot water, because like, dude, you can't just come here 3 months later, your girlfriend gets here pregnant. So I had to move out. I couldn't believe that he kicked me out. Had to kick me out. I was like, dang, for real? After everything we went through? After all that I've done for you, when? If the situation was reversed in Africa, we were the rich, you were the poor. I didn't do that with you. I used to steal my mom money and then give it to you to keep, and then you would just take whatever you want to take. I didn't mind, but that's spicy life. You learn from it. Right? So we moved to an apartment, and then slept on the floor for 2 weeks before we were able to afford the bed and stuff like that. But today, here I am. That's spicy life. Young parents, went to Berkeley University, got all the degrees that I can get, and start working in corporate America. I've done it all. Started in call center. I worked, actually the first job was Sam's Club freezer cooler. I used to stack up stuff over there, right? And I thought I was in my life. Then iterations, change came. Talking about uncommon life, spicing it up. I had this desire. So prior to that, my coping mechanism was to cook. I wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning. By 6 o'clock when you come to my house, the whole table is full of different dishes. Why am I doing it? I don't know. I was just cooking. You know what I mean? It was only 2 of us. And she's like, why are you doing all this stuff? I'm like, I don't know. I just want to make this whole thing. It was like meal plan before meal plan. But it's like for 25 people instead of 2 people. You know what I mean? But I did not know that something was happening in me. This thing was revealing itself. After moving around, you know, with my boss, you know, corporate America, the boss goes somewhere, you gotta go with them. There's a spot right here, you go with them. Finally, after PayPal, he went to California. I'm like, there's this thing that I gotta check out. There's these things that I need to figure out if I want to do.
Yeah.
I need to go and become a chef, or at least go to school and then see if that's what I want to do. So I don't want to be 90 and regret this.
Yeah.
So I dropped everything. I mean, every single thing that I was doing. And then went to Metropolitan Community College and start going to school. And I knew that I needed something to keep me going, a smaller income. And I drove a cab. I was a happy cab driver. I would park the cab at MCC campus, meaning I was losing money because I wasn't driving. Anybody has ever been a cab driver, you don't park the car. I would go to school, learn how to be a chef, jump in the car, go to the airport, do a couple rides, come back home, wake up in the morning and do early morning and go back to school. That's what I did through.
Wow. Spicy.
But I knew that that's what I needed to find out. And after that, that's the first iteration of my life. That's the first change. Moving from corporate, dropping everything and saying, listen, I'm just going to take this leap of faith and go around here and become a chef. No, what will happen. Now, at least 3 lives. You know, we all have, I don't know how many, but for me, it's 3. So, I left corporate. I went to culinary. As I was doing it, I worked in 3 hotels in town. 2 Marriott, 1 Hilton. And then I was like, COVID happened. So before COVID, I started noticing something. Just talk about it. I was like, why is it that when somebody's from Congo or Senegal or Mozambique and they show up at a hotel and they want to have their wedding or their event, all we offer them is, no offense, mashed potato, fried chicken, or any kind of chicken, you know, stuffed chicken, or any pasta or stuff like that, spaghetti, meatball, stuff like that. What if they want a salsa, ugali,
Come on.
jollof, right? You guys are spicy with all these things. Or jempume or suya.
Yeah.
Why can't we do it? Well, because yes, we don't know how to do it. I understand. But by then, you had somebody within your establishment that went to culinary school that is within walking the walk and saying, I can do this, I can offer this. They still said no. Now we have another problem then. It's no longer you don't know what to do. You don't want to do it.
Come on.
Because back then when you say African food, people like, would say what? Even today, people think it's like you're talking about people making a joke. Are you going to cook some zebra leg? A rhino thing? That's not what it is. Come on now. This is 2023.
Yeah.
And 2024, right? 24. I told you, come on, life. It's spicy, right? It's okay. And any mistake is okay. Anything happens is okay. You don't have to conform. Right? You can change it up. And people still don't know about this. And I like to say that if the food on the table does not represent who we are as a community, then we are not the diverse as we claim to be. It's no longer okay that Jamil or Musa right here or Joy wants to have some food from her roots, and she can't have it at the wedding that she's having at this place.
Yeah.
So many people have come to me asking me to do their wedding or the event in places like this, or in church, or community centers, to the point that I was like, that's not okay. The food industry is not as diverse and inclusive as we claim to be, and we don't want to do anything about it.
Come on.
We don't want to do anything about it. We just want to limit that, and we don't realize that we're missing a lot.
Mm-hmm.
There's a huge community of new Americans that are coming and staying with us. We're okay. We can hire people. We're gonna hire people. We're gonna be diverse when it comes to staff, but when it comes to the food, no. So when is my son and my daughter going to eat jollof at OPS? You see what I'm trying to say? What's going to happen?
Yeah, come on.
Exactly. So those are the things. So that's what led me to nonprofit, teaching what I call cultural family cuisine.
Yeah.
We got to make sure that we bring that to, through food we can come together. If you like somebody's food, it's hard to hate them. Right. So the next phase, that's what we do right here. This is my business. That's about food to do. This is my buddy, Chef Wilson from the Voltaire.
Yeah.
Haitian chef, humble also. Worked through the rank, only Voltaire now. So we have almost the same life upbringing. Some of the stuff that we've done, this Kaneko as catering for the soiree event.
Yeah, come on.
This is me doing a pop-up at Flatiron before it became something else. So, yeah. But I like them. Those are my friends though, the chicken cook. So now this is our non-profit right here. This is the lady that we work with. This is me teaching a white guy how to make fufu.
Come on, come on. Spicy.
Spicy, definitely.
Spicy.
He loved it.
Yeah.
He loved it to the point that now he actually does catering, and sometimes he calls me for a little bit of those kind of spicy stuff like that, because I told him, if I'm doing it, it's something. But if you're doing it, it's, oh wow, what do you got around here?
Come on.
Right? So this is us also working with another group at No Mom Tea Park. So that's kind of like the spicy love that I'm talking about. And now, there's a spicy that's called piquant, hot, and decent.
Yeah.
This is my brother, Kahar. He passed away 2 years ago. So this loss touched me more than any other loss. More than my brother, more than my father, more than my mother. This chain is his chain. This heart is his heart. We live here together for 20 plus years. He went to Africa the first time. 4 days later, he passed away. So, sometimes I still don't understand why, but that's life. You also have to know that life can be spicy like this, spicy hurt, but it's okay, you gotta move on.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that we're still here, right? So I just wanted to give all the definition of spice. But despite all this, you still gotta spice up your life.
Come on.
You have to love. You have to find your purpose. You have to live your life. You have to love your family, have your family. Find a family, whether it's a natural family or family like going to your event or family like this, find your family.
Yeah.
You know, and have faith. And also, if you want to really, really do something spicy, this 1 year Uncommon Life Daily Challenge, an ex-NFL player and coach is the one that wrote it.
Wow.
So you can kind of go through that. It's about faith. It's about going through difficulties and overcoming them. It's about also learning how to continue to live, right? So when I heard about this and I was asking myself what I'm going to do, this is what I thought that I'm going to do. So that's my spiel.